Hi everybody. So welcome to this last part of my astrophotography imaging session where I'm gonna go through the steps of editing the Elephant Trunk Nebula, the 2-frame mosaic that I did. Let's go and check out the final image and see how it looks on the computer before we start going through each step that I did. So this is the image that I ended up with. I have to say I'm really pleased with this one. I think it came out really good. I like all the oxygen parts, some of the dark nebula around it. I like the star colors on it. There are some really bright red stars, really small ones. A bit uncertain if those are hot pixels or actual stars, but yeah, I really like this image and I hope you guys also did that. So let's go into the processes and load some process icons before we get started. The reason I'm loading my processes Wow, the reason I'm loading my process icons is that I want to use a cosmetic correction in weighted batch pre-processing script, and for doing that it needs to have a template. I simply just use the default system here with use auto detect and hot sigma and cold sigma both on 3, not using anything else. Just drag an instance over here so I can choose the process 22 on it. And yeah, going to the weighted batch pre-processing, I'm not gonna load all my files and everything, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I did my settings and everything before I started the script. So I loaded my lights. I actually didn't use flat frames on this image because I've been having some issues with them. I'm gonna talk about those later. But I used darks and light files. And I had the subframe weighting on with the PSF SNR. You can choose a lot of different models to weight your images. I had image registration on with a manual registration reference image. I'm going to show you the manual frame I did. I did this actually 2 times before I got an image I was happy with. And that's because it didn't really work to use a registration reference frame on auto. I tried the auto and I tried auto by panel. I've been using keyword on this section, panel, simply because that was what I was calling my mosaic files or frames, if you would like that. So panel 1 and panel 2 are 2 sections of the mosaic. Image integration was pretty much standard as well. I didn't mess around with a lot of things. I didn't use drizzle configuration. Maybe I could have done that, but I didn't. I didn't use local normalization as well, simply because I haven't found them to do much for my images yet, but maybe they will do so in another time. The nice thing with this is that if you have your files in a directory, like I did here on panel 1, you can simply just click OK and it will drag all the files over there at once. So yeah, this took about, I think, almost 2 hours on my computer to run through both panels. And once that was done, I ended up with the master frames here. I really can't speak today. Maybe I should just have some more coffee. So I ended up with these files. This is the rejection files. As you can see, some really bad frames going on. This is how it rejected it out of the reference frame I was making. Yeah, I should probably put that one up here. My mosaic reference frame is simply a mosaic made with 2 of the best HA frames for each panel. So this is how it looked, and this is what weighted batch preprocessing was registering my images and integrated them as well. So this is one panel, and this is another panel. I think you will see that when I open up the first one here. And as you can see, there's a lot of vignetting around the corners, simply because I wasn't doing the using my flat frames, and that's because my flat frames have been overcorrecting a bit lately, or actually maybe all the time. I've been watching a lot of videos from Adam Block. He has some great YouTube videos out there, but I can't get it to work right now, so I just figured out that I'm gonna crop my image to something that I like, leaving me with some less work to do, and I'm also gonna use the DBE, Dynamic Background Extraction tool, for it. So I actually did a DBE on my raw frames, if you would like to call them that, here. I think I put them in a folder called Mosaic to Stack. Yeah, here we are. So the HA panel that we looked at last time now ended up looking like this after I've been using the DBE background extraction tool. So pretty decent work there. Got rid of most of the vignetting, really pushed forward the clouds as well, some of the dark nebula around it. So I was quite happy with that and figured out that would be a nice way to start. So once I had saved my DBE files, I was gonna do the mosaic with something called a photometric mosaic script. It's a pretty easy and straightforward script. You can read the guidelines here. So what you need to do is first start with the image analysis and image solver, so that you plate solve and give coordinates to the panels that you have. Once you are doing that, you will have a suffix on your file like this called WCS. This means that they have been image solved. Then you are registering them, and that is also a script in the mosaic. That's a mosaic by coordinates. So what you wanted to do then is just go and get your, like, the blue panel 1 and panel 2, open those up and use the projection gnomic. That's what I've been using. An option, didn't do anything here. Bicubic spline, didn't mess around with any settings here, just the output directory and the suffix for the frames. Pressed OK, and I ended up with all these files that were registered and ready to be stacked. So to the stacking point, you're also going to the script and mosaic and photometric mosaic. You can open that one up and see what the next step is. So after that, mosaic by coordinates, you are going to use the mosaic and trim mosaic tile to crop away some of the edges on your frame, so that you don't get those harsh lines when you are stacking or stitching the mosaic together. But once you have done the trim mosaic tile, just go to just open up your files, edit those, move these ones over. These are the files. So this is one that has been registered, and this is the second. And you can see these are aligning perfectly with each other. And you can see there's a lot of things already being cropped out of the image. But yeah, this was a really bad planned mosaic. I actually changed my focuser mid in between imaging sessions as well, so not the best start for an mosaic image, but it ended up okay. So script mosaic and photometric mosaic. Open up the panels together. I simply used a blend combination with a 3% outliner. I didn't do anything else here. And once that is done, it will end up with a image. Okay, so once the program has done itself, you can see that it has created a mask. This is where it's been stitching the frames together. You can close this mask. Yes, don't want to use it. And you can see that there's no really hard edges here. So the next step was, of course, to do this with each other frame as well. Okay, so after the mosaic files have been integrated, you will end up with 6 files like this. This is where the fun begins. This is where you really get to put your own style on the images. So I opened up all of these, and the first thing I am starting with is doing a dynamic crop. Now I have the process icon on my workspace here, but you can find it under process, geometry, and dynamic crop. So I'm just going to go a bit further out so I can see, and just drag it so that I crop out all the bad space around it. And I want to keep as much as possible, of course, since I actually did a mosaic. I didn't really plan this that well, but yeah. After doing that, I'm opening all the other files, and I'm simply dragging the instance over on the other pictures or the other files before I am pressing the green triangle to do the crop on the HA one. If I press the green triangle right now, I can't drag it over on the other one, and it will be really hard for me to crop these the same as this one. There could be that there are some function in PIXINSIGHT that let you crop an image the way it's been cropped earlier. I haven't found a way to do it, so I'm just not gonna do it. Simply because I want to show you guys all the steps that I've been going through. So yeah, I hope you guys are hanging on there. This will be a video that will take some time, but these are the steps I'm going through once we are doing an image, and this is pretty much how every processing is going, or I mean, not every processing, because there are some guys that are really good at this. I'm really not that qualified to be doing things like that. This I think, but kind of nice to see what I'm doing, I hope, and maybe you guys can point me in some directions if there's something I'm doing that is really in the wrong place or something else. So I'm starting with the noise exterminator. I'm gonna do a deconvolution as well, but I like to do the noise exterminator first to remove some of the noise in the image. I'm using the noise exterminator on all my files. I'm using the default settings here. The RC Astro is the Russell Croman, I think. Let's open up his webpage. Here we go, Russell Croman Astrophotography site. Really nice site with some great resources. I have bought the noise exterminator and the star exterminator. I haven't tested these two out, but so yeah, I'm simply dragging this one over here. I'm gonna do this on all my files, and we will come right back and see what kind of difference it's making. And as you can see here, let's go for the oxygen one maybe, since that was the last one. This is after and this is before. So it's really doing a great job, I think. And the reason I'm doing it before is simply because I think that if I'm doing the deconvolution first, it will enhance the noise as well in the image. So the next step then is the deconvolution. I'm going on to not the process but the script and easy processing suite and using the easy deconvolution. So here I will simply just follow these steps. I'm gonna create a new processed star mask. Let the program do its thing. This is the process that will take the longest time. Alright, so the star mask is done. Next step is to create a background mask. I don't know if I said it before earlier, but I was only using the noise extermination on my HA, S2 and Oxygen 3 files because those are the files that will have the most of the data on it in the end. I'm simply using the red, blue and green for the stars. So I'm gonna blend the stars into the starless image that we are creating after we have done the deconvolution on all the files or on all the narrowband frames. So let's generate the PSF. This will just show a average output of how my stars are looking, so it can have some kind of idea what it wants to end up with, and just run the easy deconvolution. I don't mess around with the settings or anything. I'm usually pretty happy with how it turns out. Okay, so once the HA is done, gonna open up the sulfur and do the same on that one. Okay, so the sulfur frame is finished. Had to go through the steps of making all these masks again, but that's how it is. And it looks pretty good. The next one now is to do the same with the oxygen. So I'm gonna do the same here. Just gonna create a new process star mask. This will take forever on my computer, so I'm gonna skip through this part and I'm gonna do the same with the other things. Create a background mask and then go to deconvolution and create PSF, and I'll be right back. Alright, so a quick break there, but finally done the deconvolution of all my narrowband files. End up with 3 working files that the easy script deconvolution is working with. So these we can delete them now and simply just use the 3 narrowband images to try and make them into an SHO image. So I'm gonna delete these. Yes. There we go. And I'm gonna open up a process called PixelMat. You can find it there. I have some instances that I've been working with here, like the SHO. These are the calculation or the formulas to give an image. So just simply check that the names are the same as they are. Opening up the HA file here. Destination, I want to create a new image. And we can hit the square button and we will end up with a new image. I'm gonna open up the, where we go, there we have, screen transfer function, uncheck the linked and do a stretch, and this is what we are ending up with after we have stacked these 3 images with the PixelMat formula. Pretty cool. So the next step when you are happy with this, or what I like to do, I like to create a starless image and work on the nebula by itself and just blend the red, green and blue star image afterwards. So I'm gonna open up the star exterminator. This is also something that takes a while. In between all these steps, I usually try to save, like when I have merged a file together like this one, put another identifier on it, like SHO, and maybe even save it, just to have something to work on, or if your computer crashes or something else. So let's just can just do it right now. Save it. We can create another folder here called YouTube and save it as an EXIF, which is the file system it's saved as before. And then we can do the star exterminator. So this takes a while, then we'll just jump on in when it's done. Okay, so here we have the starless image. What I like to do now is simply do a little color stretch. So I'm going to go to the color saturation, click on the preview and just drag this one up a bit. I want to have some more colors. I think maybe this should do it. I try not to overdo it, but this seems like a nice one. This is way too much and that's not how I want it to be. So just do it like that. We still have the screen transfer function working here. If you can see some green in the image, we can go ahead and use the SCNR. The SCNR function is something you can find under processes and SCNR. I'm usually going on like an 80% amount on this one, and I think that should work pretty good. You get the orange looking clouds instead of the green tint that you had overall in the image. You can see the before and after. This looks much better. I really like the dark clouds popping out in the background. So yeah, just a cool image overall. After that, turn off the screen transfer function, go to process, go to script, easy processing suite, and I'm gonna do a soft stretch to begin with. This looks good. I usually leave it on default. That works pretty nice for me. There we go. This looks decent enough already. So I'm gonna start and play around with the curves tool. You can find this one in processes and curves transformation, or you can just drag it and leave a instance there like curves. So this is where you really start and do what you want the overall image to look like in the end. Try to bring forward some of the highlighted areas and keep the darks dark as well. You can use the luminance channel to bring down the overall feel of the image, brighten up some of the brighter areas. Saturation, you can increase the saturation in the lighter parts and decrease it in the dark parts as well. So all these things are just for you to play around with and try and get that feel of the picture that you want in the end. Pressing the round button, the preview button, Means that you can see what kind of things you have done and how they are affecting the image. Pressing the square one will simply add those things to the image, and you will get another preview window with the same settings that you had, but now as a new adjustment on top. So if you want to clean it up a bit more, just hit the reset button. This will leave it till the end, and this is then again something you can work with and just play around with on how you want it to look. So I think I'm gonna pop down the darks a bit more and boost the light area a bit. Maybe bring up some more of the blue in the image, drag it down in the dark parts. Yeah, it's really starting to look good. See if we can maybe get it a bit brighter. I don't think I want it to be that dark. This looks more like it. Yeah. So yeah, play around. You can really overdo everything, and you can leave a subtle edit if you want to, but this is somewhat something I can be pleased with. I mean, it's so cool to look at the formation of the clouds here, how it's working together. Yeah, just a really cool object to photograph. Look at all these cool structures in the gases around here. Okay, so after we have prepared the SHO background or the nebula, we're gonna go and create a star image. I'm using pixel math here as well. Create a new image. Color space is RGB color, and just hit the square button, and that should leave us with an image of some stars eventually. Let's see how it goes. Not much to look at right now, but you can see some nebulosity have come through the red channel as well. You can see some of the dark nebula. So at least we have an image to work with. So like the nebula image, I'm gonna go on the color saturation. I'm gonna increase this one. Never mind how it looks right now, because it's a screen transfer function that's working on it, so it's not very good stretched. We can turn it off and use the unlinked version of it, and this should make it a bit better. You can see some gradients in here as well. I'm not gonna bother with those. So yeah, once I'm happy with how my stars are looking, and this is an issue I've been having, you see these red dots here. I'm really not sure if these are like red stars or if it's hot pixels from my camera. Maybe there are some red dwarfs floating around there. Looks very interesting, to say the least, but I'm really not sure if it is a star or not. Maybe you can tell me in the comment section if you're still watching this long video. Okay, so once you're happy with how the star image is looking, I'm gonna go on the script and do a easy processing suite and do the soft stretch again, like we did on the SHO image. Just gonna run it. Looks like really crap. I don't know why it turned out to be so purple. So I actually feel the screen transfer function is working better. So let's go and do a histogram transformation. This is image 87. Gonna preview it and just gonna stretch it manually. guess some of the channels are a bit not perfectly aligned with each other, and that's why you get this. So you can see the blue one is actually way further up than the other one, so I like to try and keep them somewhat in the same section here, that they overlap each other. This looks much better, so let's do it like that. Let's go and see if we can go in and clip some of the blacks a bit closer and just drag it a bit more out there. There we go. This looks pretty okay. Maybe even one more time. Yeah, I think so. We can go like that. Okay, so the Star Exterminator has done its work on the star image. So this is the starless version. I'm just gonna close that one because I don't need it. And this is the RGB stars. So just gonna make it a new identifier. And this is what we want to blend onto the SHO of the nebula. So let's go ahead and open Pixel Matte. Alright, so the Pixel Matte function I'm working on to blend the stars with the nebula is something I think I've seen by James Lamb. Let's go ahead and open up his YouTube page. Here we go. Has some really good tutorials when it comes to PIXINSIGHT. Check that guy out if you want to know even more about how to edit these photos. But I'm just gonna drag this one over to the SHO file. This will leave us with a image where we have some nice stars as well. Gonna keep those on top there. Close this one, and this looks pretty good. You can see that the stars are pretty nice in color. There's nothing much going on there. Yeah, this looks good. And I think usually after blending the stars on there, I'm just gonna go and use curves transformation again. Simply just try and fine-tune it a bit more. Maybe push up some more lights. Get it a bit brighter. Go a bit down on the shadows without overdoing it too much, but I think this should be fine. We can increase the saturation a bit more. There we go. I think that is good. Yeah, makes the image pop a bit more, I think. So there we go. This is pretty much what I am doing. I don't do a lot more with an image. There's probably plenty of steps you can do to get it as nice as you want to. I see I have some gradients down here, so maybe I will try and go to Lightroom and maybe fix something, or maybe in Photoshop, but that's not something to show right now. So this is the image we have done in this video, and this is what I was showing you guys in the end, or showing you on the start of this video. Let's just compare them. I actually think this turned out pretty good. I see I have left some more of the greenish tint in this one, but overall maybe gone a bit over the top on this one versus this one. This seems kind of a bit better balanced, not pushing it to the extreme like I've done here. I don't know what you guys think. But if you have been watching this video for so long, I think I'm gonna try and share my integrated files here on a Google Drive or something. So if you want to have a go on your own, leave a comment in the comment section, and I will share that link for you so you can download it. And please, after you have done it, send me a message so I can see how it turned out. It would be so fun to do a comparing video where I can see what you guys have done with the same files that I've been doing. So yeah, I'm actually gonna save this because I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Final image. There we go. I'm gonna save it as a TIFF file as well afterwards, but yeah. So that's how an image is getting processed after taking it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too long, but of course editing an image takes some time. Maybe I've gone through some steps a bit quick, but I can try and make it a bit more detailed another time. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys learned something new. If you have any tips for me, leave them in the comment section. As always, if you like these videos, leave a thumb up, subscribe to my channel. You know the drill. I'm super happy that you watched for so long, and I just wish you clear skies and keep looking up in the night sky.